we'd like to assure you that we'll start in the next 10 minutes.
Around Lagos is very, very bad, and I'm told that we're very glad that you have all come out this evening to join us at this maiden award, because we believe that following after the end of the Cold War, today's battle is in the arena of governance, and especially in the economic sphere of life around the world. And so at Business Day, we thought it fit that in examining how well we're doing in delivering dividends of democracy to our people, that we especially focus on what the state governments and the governors are doing in this particular regard. And so some months ago, we started work on our first state competitiveness report. I'm delighted to say that in the course of the work that we did, researching and producing that report, it became very clear to us that across the states, you would find pockets of indeed great work by many of our state governments. That indeed we benefited enormously. We had our knowledge and understanding enriched in the process or in the course of doing that report. And we thought that there is indeed something to be celebrated wherever you look. And so in the way that we have selected the awards for today, and I'm sure that our editor will speak about that shortly, we have been very particular in focusing on how it is that the state governments competing for the growing investment flows into the country are positioning their states to take advantage of that investment flow. I imagine that for those who do not step out of the confines of the boundaries of their states, there is always the temptation to think that it is only in that state that things are happening. But I'm glad to report that indeed that is not the case. And as you will find from what we will do here this evening, there is a lot that we can present as indeed evidence that our democracy is growing, not only as the years pass, but also in terms of improvement in governance and improvement in the lives of our people. I do not intend to take too much of your time But I would like, before I invite the editor to make some pronouncements around the parameters of the award, to launch our maiden report, and I'm sure you'll all be getting copies of the report in the course of the evening. My hope is that you will have the time to look at that report and appreciate the terrific work that has been done in, as I said earlier, trying to bring together a compilation of what is happening in the states across the country, but most importantly, in ranking the data that was pulled in the course of that research in a unique manner that presents the state the way they rank in terms of the work that the states and the governors are doing. A copy of the report and to present this report and to recommend this report, the developmental parameters along with comparative and zonal data that helps to present the 36 states of Nigeria in a way that I'm sure you yourself will be astounded when you have had time to read this report. So, Your Excellencies, Honorable Commissioners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you the 2013 State of the States Report by Business Day. Thank you very much and welcome. But before I take my leave and invite the editor, may I just take Business Day to come up and just some sense of how we arrived at the parameters.
Welcome. This in its understanding of it's about that and who contest elections realize that the people are the key reason why they do so, and they must deliver the dividends of democracy to justify that decision to take a plunge into politics. Therefore, as a business newspaper covering the economy, covering business, covering finance, we know that politics has one central theme. Politicians who do not understand that economics is at the center of politics will find it difficult to deliver the dividends of democracy. And so, tonight, we're giving out awards in 13 categories. The awards are not necessarily in the order of importance. Transparency in governance. Best governor in urban and rural infrastructural development. Best governor in education development. Healthcare development. Agriculture development. Best governor in housing development. The ease of doing business and sport development. There are a number of criteria that have been looked at to decide, first, the nominees for the awards and those who will eventually go home with the awards. Now, this has been done painstakingly. First, by the fact that we at Business Day have had the economy more than any other newspaper in this country. And so, the research department went about collecting data, correspondents across the states of the country went around the states looking at what's on the ground that the governors or the states have done. The scores that were achieved by different states in terms of what as criteria, the state government must have a website. Now, transparency is one area that this country has been acknowledged to fall short a bit. Now, we went around to ensure that for you to say you are transparent, you must be open. And in these days of technology, the website or the internet is a place where we expect that if you want your citizens that are living across the world to know that you are transparent, you must put information out there and provide data to support or to provide as evidence to show that you are doing work in your state. Now, there's the fervent pursuit by the students was increasing year on year. We wanted to also find out the increase, additional marks was given for the quality of the pass rate. That it is not just to say that people pass at 50%, but we wanted to find out the quality of the pass marks that were obtained. In the Best Governor in the Development of Urban and Rural Infrastructure Award, the criteria, amongst others, included that the states were expected to submit an entry stating kilometers of roads tied in the last 12 months. How many of the roads are in urban areas and how many in the rural areas? For the Best Governor in Development of Healthcare, we wanted to find out the number of primary healthcare centers built and completed in the last 12 months. The number of qualified nurses and doctors working in the state, the number of qualified nurses and doctors employed in the last 12 months. For the Best Governor in Development of Agriculture, we were looking for agricultural policies initiated in the last 12 months, initiatives embarked in the last 12 months to boost agriculture, outcomes of previous economy. The criteria included increase in the number of businesses in the last 1 year, attractiveness to investors, positive GDP numbers during the period under review, increase in the number of bank branches in the past 3 years, and financial inclusion.